So welcome to Shop Talks. We're going to talk about social media now and in the future. Got Alan Wade here on my left, got Stan Banks and John Phenom, kind of different approaches to all what they're doing. I want to thank the sponsor, which is Hanes and Impressions, and I'm from the Ink Kitchen, which is a free online source of information. So in the spirit of the Ink Kitchen, which is all about sharing instead of selling, I think we got three guys here who have followers about half the world put together here. Really, probably like 250,000 followers with all of you put together here. So, all right, where's social media at? Where's it headed? You know, do you want to just take that and run with it?
Man, where's social media headed? Social media is taking over the world. I think a lot of businesses are feeling the impact that social media is having on every industry, right? And those businesses that choose to ignore social media and not participate are feeling the repercussions. Let's be real. Social media is the future, and now you have the metaverse coming. That's going to be even next level. So it's like either you participate or you drown.
Dire.
Yeah, to add what Alan said, man, social media gives everybody access, right? As Nipsey would say, and we're in LA, so cut out the middleman. So you have direct access to whatever it is that you do to consumer. You can take any idea that you have, put it out into the world, and you don't have to wait on somebody to distribute or to give people access to what you have. You put it out into the world, and you let the people decide. So at the current moment, it's in the palm of our hands. And if you're not using it in a way that actually makes you money, a lot of people are just browsing, which is cool, because as they watch our content or you consume other people's content, you know, those people are the ones who benefit off of it. So you need to understand that social media needs to be used in a way, and it can be used to help grow your business. All of you guys are business owners here, and you guys should be cultivating that attention that is on social media in order to build your business.
What do you got, John?
For when I think about social media, I'll always tell people it's sales, marketing, and storytelling all in one package. And word association, when you're talking about the future of it, I actually think about metaverse also, but maybe that's a different conversation. I think for a lot of the folks here, because I own a shop as well, I own a high volume shop as well, I feel like marketing kind of goes out the window, right? You're trying to fulfill orders. That's something you're thinking about. You're paying your employees. But in context for everything, for the entire world, it's storytelling, marketing, and sales all together.
I'm going to pick up on something Alan said. I want to talk about an aspect I had not thought about today, but you're sort of presiding over a community as well. Like, I didn't really realize that part. Alan, you want to talk about that? Start. A community is part of it. Like, that maybe isn't obvious right away. That you're sort of, you're stirring the drink. That's the community.
Definitely. So, like, with social media, you're not only engaging with the end user, but you're also building community around whatever it is you're trying to promote or whatever it is you're trying to build, and building a community and helping and showing people the process in building that community, or where you started, the process of your business, the process of where you started. They feel like they're a part of it as you start to grow, and they get attached to your business. They get attached to the deep rooted. They feel like they're a part of the growth, and when they feel like they're part of the growth and they're part of your process, they get attached to your brand, and they want to support you. They want to buy the latest shirt that you create. They want to buy the latest jeans that you make or something like that, because you built that foundation, you built that community, right? And you interact with them. And it becomes a job within itself, interacting with everybody. And it's all about how you deal with it. Do you consider it to be a nuisance, or do you enjoy talking to the people and engaging with the people?
Yeah, and to tie that into more like the business side of what is going on, right? Like,
these guys are business.
As a small shop, you probably don't have any sales reps, right? You got people who come in the door. You may have advertised at one point, but a lot of shops don't even ever advertise anymore. So most shops don't have sales reps because they don't think of their customer as a sales rep. So if you include your customer in what you're doing, they become a part of it, right? And I talked yesterday about like just ideas of things that you could do along social media in order to build up like the hype around it, give people stuff that they'll post. But if you look at your customer base as a community, as sales reps, by providing them things that they can share, it'll also bring you back more attention. So to put it into context, if I'm working on Alan's job, if I'm working on Alan's job, and as I'm doing it, I'm letting them know, I'm taking them along the journey and the process. Like, yo, Alan, man, we're working on your order right now. Hey, we got like 35 embroidered hats. He has his Big Bear brand, or is it Black Bear? Yeah. He got his Black Bear brand, right? So, Alan, man, I'm about to make you this dope embroidered jacket right now, and you guys get to take them along the journey. Because if I post that on social media, what do you guys think will happen? You think he's gonna look at it and say, "Oh, that's cool." No, he's gonna share it so he can let people know that his merch is coming. And if I invest in something like photography and I give him some shots of his product that he can actually share, he's gonna share it. And what is that doing? That's shedding light on him, but it's also shedding light on me. And that's the art of collaboration. And that is the piece that I think really makes social media important, because you can collaborate with people that you never met in person. You don't have to meet the people who are maybe purchasing your product. You can collaborate with them and grow your audience that way.
Anything on that?
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like they hit it on the head. While they were talking, I was thinking, if I were starting from scratch as just like a shop, like with marketing, so if I would have done it again and had my screen printing shop, one thing that I would do is tell every single client, hey, by the way, here are the prices, here's the job, but we have to get a reaction of you opening up the product and seeing it. And I was just thinking, if you filled the feed with that and some other content, and obviously get some tags from him. Now, they might not have like a huge following, but it'd be interesting whenever someone sees your feed and sees your client's natural reaction to it. Anyways, while you're talking about it, I'm thinking, if I was a shop, I would think of that as one segment of the content.
Alan, you also were talking earlier that even apart from you, like within the comments, people are like interacting, right?
I think that's one of the most powerful aspects of social media. When you're interacting with people, people will add to what you're doing, and they'll give you other ideas that you can build your business off of, give you ideas that you might not have thought of yet. And it's like almost having a free team of marketers or people that brainstorm ideas. You got build a whole group that are willing to offer you ideas for free, right? You show, hey, I'm doing this, like Stan said, I'm making Alan's A-Dub jackets and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. They say, hey, why don't you put this right here? Or why don't you do one on jeans? Or why don't you do this? And you're like, damn, why don't I do that? And then you start doing it, next thing you know, it takes off. So it's so many different aspects that these guys are more technical than I am on the social media, but we're all learning as social media evolves. But there's so many different aspects that come from engaging with your audience. There's so many different platforms that work in different ways, and this is all brand new. It might seem like it's been around for a while, but social media is young. It has a whole lot of room to grow, and as you participate, you'll think of other ways and other ways that you can interact with your audience and grow your business.
As I got ready for this, one thing I realized is that, I think there's an idea that you have to be like slick to do it, and you guys are the freaking anti-slick. Like one of your reasons for success, I'd like to hear what you think of this, is that you really do keep it real. I mean, you share your mistakes.
Brutal honesty.
It's a very real medium, and you guys have risen up, I think, partly because you're just telling the truth.
Now, I wholeheartedly agree with that, right? Like, one thing about building a platform and building a community and doing that stuff, the people that are for you will gravitate towards you, right? We all have those problem customers that come in you know, right when they come in, they want to ask all these questions, and then they don't want to spend any money, and they do all of this stuff. But ultimately, you know, you get an opportunity there to educate people through that, right? By posting a video, by making certain content, you can kind of shape your community, and right? So the people that are for your business will gravitate towards your business. The work you show is the work that you'll get, right? So I get a lot of people who are starting out. I help a lot of people start out, right? And they're like, man, I'm tired of doing customs. I said, well, you got to show what you want. And that's, I want to show bulk orders. Well, I don't got any bulk orders. Well, you know, a stack of shirts, it only requires one shirt to have a design on it to look like a stack of shirts, right? And it's like cheating the system, but the work you show will be the work you get. And you can cultivate that business to go in the direction you want to go by showing the stuff that you actually want to do.
That's really important. When you're starting your social media platform, part of it being sustainable and something that you can maintain and, you know, continue to grow in the long run is, like Stan said, deciding what it is you want to do and building and shaping your audience to the people and in a way that is best for you. Because ultimately, you have to sustain that. You have to build that. You have to continually put out that content or that thing that you want to do. So shape your audience and decide who you're talking to by the type of content that you put out. It's a difficult concept to understand, but once you start building your audience, you know exactly, you know, how to do it.
When I think about like honesty and transparency with your audience, I have two things that come to mind. So when I started my channel, I just started because I was the guy that someone's friend would say, oh, if you're gonna start a clothing line, you should ask this guy, John. And I was working as a designer, moved my way up to like creative director and all of that. And then, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my 20 most asked questions on a YouTube channel. And then when I came back to it, after like a year, I forgot the password, there was like 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh, people are really looking for this. Well, a little bit after in my timeline, my whole thing in my early 20s was I'm gonna start a clothing line, I'm gonna make $1 million, and I'm gonna put the money in real estate. The last two things didn't happen because the mortgage crunch in 2007 that all of you should probably know happened, and it was devastating. Right before I turned 30, that all happened, and I was devastated. It was like my life's dream. But I went back to that channel and I shared that, and I said, hey, I failed. So a lot of people are like all caps sometimes on social media. For you older folks, that means they're like lying. You know what I mean? Not cap like a blank, but yeah, like that transparency, sharing that with my audience, and then moving forward with the journey. Like, oh, I became a creative director and wielded, you know, multi-million-dollar clothing lines. That gave me a new perspective in that. The second thing is like right now at this moment, I'm actually talking with a couple companies, but like I'm working on closing a brand deal. Well, I'll just say it. So there's a company called Cash Drop that I'm working with. Now with them, we're still talking, but you know, I like their story. They're American, but they're also like have an immigrant story, which I love. It's a great solution. But I told them, hey, like literally told them in the first interaction, you know, I talk in my videos about Shopify because Shopify is a thing. They're very dominant. Everyone knows Shopify. All the brands that I worked with, there's companies that are made that are third parties off of Shopify. So while I support what they're doing, I said, hey, I'm not gonna not mention Shopify. And they said, hey, we're totally cool with that. And what it makes me think is all of us, we have to be transparent because that's what they're coming for us for. If you guys are clicking on any of the videos, you guys want to know the truth about it, and that's what we can offer, I feel.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, I can't stress how important it is to be transparent and to be honest with people, because it helps them to understand that, like I said in the other discussion, some of you guys were here, like, you're going to make mistakes in your business. You're going to have obstacles that you have to overcome. And them seeing somebody or people that they look up to making these mistakes helps humanize their experience and the things that they're going through. So it's really, really important to show those things, to show that not everything's going to be, you know, a lot of people will look at us sometimes and say, oh, you got this and you got that. I'm like, okay, go watch the videos from 2 years ago. Go watch the video where I lost my job. Go watch the video where I had one embroidery machine. Go watch the video. You know, the whole journey is there. It's fully transparent, and people appreciate that because it shows them like, just 2 years ago, I was where you are, and now, you know, it helps them know that they can do it.
Yeah, our most popular in-kitchen post is Misprint Monday, where we tell all the stuff we screwed up. So I think people relate to that. They want to keep it real for sure. I mean, I had a friend who used to say, "You show me somebody that don't make no mistakes, I'll show you somebody that ain't doing nothing," and that is definitely true. So where are things headed? Like, have you know, how is the platform of YouTube in particular changed over time, and where is that going?
I mean, it's become more accessible, right? Like, and where it's headed is beyond YouTube now. It's like TikTok. And, you know, when he says social media is young and it's new, it is, and it's gonna keep changing. Every year, we're gonna have something new. It started with Instagram photos. Well, first, it started with Facebook, just meeting your friends, and then it's shifted into photos. Then it shifted into video. Then it goes into YouTube videos, right? And different, like MySpace, that was way back. But it's shifting and changing. It's going to long form content. It's going to short form content. Next is going to go to 3D content. It's going to keep changing. It's something that we got to know. But that can become really, really overwhelming. And the truth and the honesty is you just got to pick one platform. You know, for me, I picked YouTube. And I grew that thing as much as I possibly could by devoting all of my energy to one platform. Then I added Instagram on as a secondary thing just because I wanted people to have access to me on a consistent basis, and you can't really DM and you can't talk to people on YouTube in that manner. So, you know, if you guys don't overcomplicate it, you pick one platform. You know, for most of you guys, it probably should be Instagram or it should be Facebook. If you guys pick one of those two platforms and you go all in on those platforms, and then you'll start to learn. Like, I haven't even touched TikTok yet, and I said this year at some point I'm going to get into TikTok and try to figure out what it is, but it's overwhelming.
You can explain it to me when you figure it out.
Yeah, no question. But
I think there's a YouTube about that coming on.
Yeah, no question. It's a lot of platforms, but if you try to go look at all 5 of them right now, it's going to become overwhelming. And then by the time you learn one of those 5, it's going to be dead, and they're going to be on to the next thing, right? And the youth around you can speed up the process. So you might have a kid that you like, get off your phone, but no, like, hey, point your camera at me, right? Like my daughter and the kids, and you watch what they do and how they're dancing and different things like that. How can I put my product on them in order for them to see it and tag me and do all of this crazy stuff that goes on? But pick one platform, simplify it, try to figure out how you can be a part of it, be active in it, how you can highlight your customer, and that will help your business grow significantly.
It's funny, yesterday, we had Serge here, Ramirez, and he was like, you got to realize that things are going from this way to this way. And that kind of captured it, right?
It became work. So I made my first reel the other day. What I would say is my first dedicated reel. I'm running around, I'm yelling, it's Super Saturday. And it took me the whole morning to figure out, I'm like, should I do this? Should I do this? I gotta run outside 4 times to figure it out, right? But it's changed. I can cut take my phone, turn it sideways, and produce a YouTube video in 8 minutes, nonstop, no cuts, no breaks, and get it done right away. But now I'm like, I gotta learn this thing, and it took me like 4 hours in the morning to make a 15-second video just because I don't necessarily understand it. And you got 5 seconds to grab somebody's attention, right? And that means you should start with the attention grabber in the front. Hey, show the product right away. I'm gonna show you how it's made, but look at it first, and then show them how it's made. The people who are scrolling, how you scroll with your phone and you look at your different content, you got to look at it that way and say, wait, what things am I stopping on? How can you analyze how you see social media, because your customer will probably see it the same way.
So, any other tips on YouTube, actually, because all of you really have a lot of followers, and what works and what doesn't for YouTube?
So I'll encompass it in this. I wanted to piggyback off of what he was saying, but also tips. So this works. But while he was talking about his process, I'm also on that calendar where this year I'm going to take on TikTok. But for me, it was the same thing. I had a YouTube channel.
You're too old.
Yeah. It's funny. People are like, how old are you? You talk about your 30s and your 40s. They're like, how old are you? But this year I'm taking on TikTok, but he was talking about how he's attacking that platform. So I would say for any shop, if marketing is like one of the last things you think about, knowing that all of the platforms have a different like language, so the way they view is different. The way someone views TikTok is completely different with YouTube, where YouTube you can have a longer storytelling, you know? And along with that, if we're talking about logistics of thinking about it in an organized manner, I mean, just understanding, like, I look at it like a calendar, right? Like you want something popping, you want something happening on your social media, at least like monthly if you can. So I would have like 12 things like, hey, this is going on December, this is going on.
So regular posting.
Regular. I mean, jumping on trends is like the next level of that. But I'm just thinking, like, for all the shops that I know where it's like very much back burner, just knowing there's a different language, knowing that you should organize it, and you should be dedicated to it too. So like, if you don't get any engagement after like 3 weeks, you can't say, oh, this is horrible, forget it. Like, because it's a thing, it's gonna be there. It's the way we communicate to the outer world, and it's the way they see new product and new things happening.
That's beyond true, right? Like, being consistent trumps everything else. And like, I get asked a lot, like, how can I be a YouTuber? And I'm like, man, listen, if you want to be a YouTuber to make money, you should probably quit right now.
Long road.
The money isn't there, right? But, you know, you got to be willing to put 3 to 5 years of work in when nobody's watching. You know, one of the things I'm proud of is for a lot of people who know me or watch my content, when I had 3 people on live at 3 o'clock in the morning, I gave them the same energy as I do right now when I got 150 or 200 people on live, right? And it's important to be consistent, and you got to do it when nobody's watching, because you'll never reap the benefits. You know, if you look at how many people is following, how many likes you get, you look at all of that stuff, and it never happens for you. You know, it only takes one post, but that post may come 3 years into this. That might actually change the trajectory of what you're doing.
I've heard you say before also that, like, consistent regular posts are more important than how many, right?
Yeah, man, and I think, like, to bring it back to business, you know, I know we're influencers in a different way because we all teach whatever we do, but, like, how can you do that in your business? Just show the work that you're doing every day. You know, I built my platform because I was in the shop at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just cut the camera on. I was doing the work every day. So how can you show the jobs that are coming through your shop every day in a way that engages your customer, right? We built an audience to help you guys, to empower you guys to do what we do and to get you started. But how can you do that for your customer? How can you encourage more people to become customers? And that's by showing, hey, today I'm working on this family reunion job. If you got a family reunion, I got you. Don't worry about it. Look how I'm gonna take care of this customer, right? And if you're doing stuff for schools, go out and be a part of that community or a part of their event, and go out to there and take pictures and do stuff and talk about it. Like, listen, you guys see me print this job last week. Now look at these kids running around at this camp. You know, they have some famous NFL player here. It's awesome, man. I'm just so proud to be a part of, you know, this event. So don't overcomplicate it. Again, I'm gonna keep saying that. Don't overcomplicate it. You're doing jobs every single day. Are you posting them? You should have a post every day. You know, I know John said a week or monthly, but you should have a job posted on your Instagram every single day. And sometimes you forget. But if you got 5 jobs a day, you take 5 photos. That don't mean you gotta post them all today. You just gotta remember to go back, you know, when you're in the bathroom. I say steal minutes, we learned that in football, but like steal some minutes. You in the bathroom, you in a car, you drive, somebody else driving, you riding with them. Remember that you need to make that post, and it'll really help you be consistent and change it. You guys are doing work every day. I know you are because I was there. And you know, those are the things that you got to share.
Stan, I did not know that bathroom time was the key to YouTube.
What? That is the key. That's when
valuable working
comments,
time.
Now we're really talking about keeping it real.
They're probably not going to DM me no more. You're like, are you in the bathroom right now messaging me back? Yes.
No, the studio, right? Alan, you got anything else to say about like what makes some of the successful YouTube?
I think a lot
posts?
of people are afraid to just start because they look at videos of a lot of other influencers or content creators and they think like, what camera should I buy? What equipment do I need? What type of lights should you get? And at the end of the day, none of that matters. None of that matters because just 10 years ago, our phones weren't capable of shooting in 4K. So a lot of times when people ask, what camera should I buy? Well, you got one of the best cameras right there in your hand, your phone. Right? So just start. What should I talk about? Just do anything. Just do anything and just start, and you'll kind of find out what people like and what people want to see. But the biggest problem people have is just starting off. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just start. And what's gonna happen is you'll find as you progress, you're getting better. You're getting better because you started from somewhere and you started working up to that. And some of that content that you put out that years ago that people, you didn't think people would be interested in, there's value in that. There's value in seeing the growth. There's value in seeing the things, the ideas that you were putting out. And what's going to happen is you're going to create a back catalog of content that's going to work in your favor. And these guys touched on everything. Consistency is key because these platforms, they work differently and have algorithms that work with your channel and kind of like boost your channel depending on if you're putting out content consistently. So it's important, and no matter whatever you're doing in life, you have to be consistent, because if you're not consistent, nobody's gonna take you seriously. And I'm guilty of not taking certain platforms seriously and consistent, but YouTube I'm always consistent with, because that's where I started, that's my baby, I love that platform. Instagram, I'm getting there, but
So,
pick a platform, understand how it works, and be consistent.
so you were talking about really, the best thing is to get started, and
Get started.
pretty much any decent cell phone works. You want to talk though, if you do, as you progress, what kind of things do help? I know,
Audio.
tripods, the sound, lights.
Audio.
What else helps to make stuff look better?
Well, shoot, there's whole channels with technology, but what I want to contribute to that in terms of just improving your content, just like I said a minute ago, like taking it serious, knowing that's a different language, and then putting together a bit of a schedule for it, for whatever you attack. I agree with Stan. Probably Instagram for most of the shops here is like something you should try to tackle. But just like testing, right? So something's going to get more engagement than other things. The greatest thing about social media is there's analytics, right? So like, I was talking a moment ago about a brand deal, and it's like, they're gonna pull your analytics, like what's your engagement? And so back in the days when a magazine was like, hey, will you please advertise with us? This is our reach. Where did they get those numbers from? Like they just kind of, we reach 500,000 people, it's cap. Again, for the older people like my age, cap means they're lying. But now with social media, you could see the numbers. So you can see your own numbers, right? So if something where you're like, hey, this is something different, guys, I just want to be honest about, I'm frustrated right now, this is going with the shop, we're getting a shortage of teas, and I want to deliver to my customers, you might find that does really well. Maybe you just go live and you plan your phone, and they're just watching you print. You might be shocked, but people will sit and watch it and really think it's interesting.
Watch anything. People watch anything.
So, for people that are new, what are the analytics? So what is the information that you can get in terms of, I know what it is, but you want to explain?
Right, all the basic stuff like view, you could YouTube or Google getting deeper into any of that stuff. One of my friends here actually is a professional digital marketer, so we always have long conversations about it. But way before you get into that, the basic like vanity analytics of how many views is what we're talking about with engagement. Basically, how many people are seeing it and consuming it. If I get a little step further with YouTube, when you watch your videos, there's going to be an average time where there's a drop-off, right? So for example, with my brand deals, I'm going to say, hey, if we're doing a sponsored video, not a dedicated video, but a sponsored video, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to plant you right here at 1:36, because my average drop-off, if they know what I'm talking about for analytics, everyone's learning at a different pace. But I would drop their sponsored message right before the drop-off, typically in my videos. But for you guys can see that, if you have a business version of your Instagram or Facebook, you have access to all your numbers. So once you get committed, like Stan said, and do it, you're gonna have data points after doing it for a couple months, and you can literally look back and say, whoa, this video did really good. I wonder why. So look at it,
But there's
analyze
not just
it.
views, right? It's like they can tell you how long people viewed. What
Your
as
view
you mentioned, the
duration.
drop-off point.
Exactly.
View
all that,
duration.
Yeah.
I think it's my turn.
What?
I think it's my turn.
So-
Go, man, go.
So not to blow my own horn, but my degree is in digital film and video production. So, getting your once you're done with your cell phone, right, and you want to graduate, right? There's different cameras you can buy. I'd say two of the biggest things that you can improve on if you want to tackle that. But you don't really need it, to be honest with you, because guys like Stan will build his whole platform off a cell phone. You don't really need it. You can just do all cell phones. But if you want to bump it up a notch and improve your quality, one of the biggest things to invest in audio equipment and lighting, right? You got to be able to hear. People will watch a crappy video if they can hear it. You're not going to watch a crappy video if you can't hear anything, right? This is not silent film days. So lighting and audio first and then lighting. Invest in.
And if you want to improve, for me, I would even like step away from anything they just said. Like, I'm just still on my cell phone. I never overcomplicated the process, and it's collaboration wholeheartedly. You know, I think like being able to collaborate with other businesses around you, being able to build some value for other people around you will always reciprocate the value back to yourself. You know, if not through that directly, but through the connections. Oh, I saw what you did with this business, this other local place, this local football team and stuff like that. So I would invest in collaboration. I know it's against our nature. We want to keep all the business for ourselves. I'm not saying you need to go network with another screen print shop or another embroidery shop, although you probably should, because they can handle the capacity that you can't necessarily handle. But overall, how you can collaborate with other businesses and other things around you and how you can bring them value, and then it'll also bring it back to you. And then to go to what he was talking about as far as like the data that you can get in the analytics and stuff. I mean, if you look at the screen, the number one thing that people worry about is followers and subscriber counts and, you know, how many people are on your platform overall. But to me, that number doesn't matter. You know, how engaging is your post for YouTube is within the first 30 days. For Instagram, you know, 2 days later, that post dies after a week. You know, nobody ever goes back. Maybe one person will go back and scroll through and like everything that's going on, but your current interaction. So when you post a video, when you post a reel within like 2 days, how well is it performing for you? And then you want to double down on the things that do really, really well. So paying attention to your analytics means what performs the best, and then how can I reduplicate that success and even make it better? So like, you know, me as a person who doesn't even look at a subscriber count, I never looked at it. I don't look at my view count or anything like that. I just put out the content based on what I'm doing every day. You know, now I'm feeling it because I get, you know, I book consultations to figure out what I'm gonna do next. And they're like, man, you need to go back and make beginner videos. I'm like, man, I'm so far past that. But they want me to duplicate the things that made me successful and not allow me to grow of a sort. So I'm trying to fight that battle, and it's gonna happen in your business. So whatever work you're doing that is if you're doing like puff print or you're doing specialty printing and that's the stuff that's getting you more views, you wanna try to show more of that stuff so you can get more eyes on what you're doing.
You know, talking to all of you, one more thing I realize is that the technical part is not nearly as important as the inspiration. Like, if you're not going to do it if you're not inspired, right?
Yeah, no question, man. I think I'm pretty sure all these guys will feel the same way. You know, like I want to do 0% of anything that I don't want to do, right? And that's just factual. And I would do. You know, we all started. You know. We didn't make any money, you know. We genuinely wanted to help people, and then over time, because we were so passionate about what we were doing, opportunities started to show up. But if I told you I didn't make a dime for 3 years, you'd be like, man, this dude's crazy. Like all of my friends and all of my family thought I was, you know. Like he's walking around the shop. I think one of my mentors posted me speaking here the other day, last night. He posted me speaking. He said, man, we used to attend these shows, and now he's speaking at them. And y'all don't understand that he used to walk around the shop all day long with his cell phone, and anybody thought I was crazy until I made it somewhere. So, you know, figure out what you're passionate about and do that, and then figure out how to make money doing it. And if that means you have to do it on the side, which is where this came from, t-shirt side hustle, you have to do it on the side, then do it on the side until you can figure out what makes sense, how you can grow and how you can do it. But most importantly, again, is be consistent.
I think questions, how about that? Who's got a question for these guys? All right, so the question is how should people use Instagram posts versus the other aspects of Instagram?
Well, I say you do it all, right? And you do it all. The reels are gonna be the thing that brings the most traction right now. The stories keep people engaged and you can engage in a conversation. So for me, you know, if I'm doing a job, I love to throw the shirt on the platen, you know, put the print on there, show that, show the finished product, show it come out of the dryer if you're screen printing, you show all of that process. And then you get to talk to people through your stories. You know, like I said earlier, hey, I'm working on your job, Alan, man, it's gonna be done today. You can come pick it up in 2 hours. And if it's not done in 2 hours, I'm gonna give you 10% off, right? Like create that type of consistency and the hype. And then your posts live forever, right? I know I said after a week it dies because it does, but it's a part of your post count, which, you know, if you got a lot of stuff, you know, kids today, they don't even have they want like 9 posts or 8 posts, their pages are empty, but through that post number, regardless of this, the follower count, they know that you're consistent. That's where your consistency shows up to anybody who's watching. So, you know, I say if you're on social, you should try to do it all on the platform that you pick. Again, you know, Reels, TikToks, Shorts, it's all the same thing. You think I'm gonna go out and do this 3 times? I'm gonna go run out. I already had to run out my house 5 times to get the one shot.
Get the
I think
take.
I'm gonna do it 15.
Go ahead. Your posts on your Instagram, they live forever. So if you want to get technical with it, just try to have fun. I generally try to have fun with the platforms, but if you want to get technical with it, your posts should be the things that you want the audience to see the most, because that's going to be right on the front of your page if people choose to scroll through your page. So think about what you want to live on your page forever and how you want your business to be represented, because that's what's going to be there forever, right? Reels are what the platform at the time right now, Instagram wants you to use. So, and that's what Instagram is pushing forward. That's what the algorithm is putting in front of people more. So if you want to grow your audience faster on Instagram right now, do Reels. Stories go away after 24 hours. So maybe if you want your business to appear perfect, you can show your mistakes in your stories because it's going to be gone in 24 hours, right? The people that are constantly on your page, they get to see that and they appreciate it, but it's going to be gone in 24 hours, so you don't have to embarrass yourself. The embarrassment's going to be gone in 24 hours, so you don't have to worry about it. So different, you know,
John?
you can leverage that different ways.
I would just say, if you don't know what Reels or Stories is, don't worry about it. I'll go back to what Stan said and like just start posting. But what I would say is regarding the history of your post, like let's say for a dedicated Instagram for your shop, when clients check it out, they're definitely gonna look through it, right? Like when you meet someone, you're gonna go to their Instagram and see what they're about, and oh, they have a dog or a cat, or like they like to eat Italian food, I don't know. But like for your shop, it would, you know, along with those ideas of posting, you wanna get some of your wins, some of your clients. Definitely if you have a big client, like when I talk about my old shop, I'll always say, oh, we printed for Blizzard. And Blizzard was just in the news for selling to Microsoft. Now, they're one of many clients, but I'll say that because a lot of people know what Blizzard are, and they get an understanding that we were printing for BlizzCon and all of their events or whatever, so they understand that. But yeah, for you guys, when a customer or a client or a possible future client is checking through, they're gonna look through that. So remember, when you do that post, like of a satisfied customer or showing the process, and maybe it's a carousel, so you have pictures of the process and then the finished shirt and then the customer loving it, all of that stuff is important because they'll look at it like a resume.
A lot of times you get judged by what you have on your social media, on your platforms. So if you're somebody, like Stan says, collaboration, if you want to collaborate with somebody, you introduce yourself to that person, ask them if you want to, they want to collaborate with you, and they go on your social media and they see that you don't even do this thing that you want me to collaborate with you about. What are we doing here, right? So, yeah, think about what you post, how consistent you post it, and just post what you want to represent yourself.
Other questions? On the Reels, there's no editing is the
So
question.
when you're filming Reels, you're filming like short clips, and I think it's increased to 30 seconds now. It used to be 15, but basically you're filming really, really short parts, right? So to give you an example, I'm gonna take one of these blank shirts right here, and I'm gonna imagine that my seat is my heat press. So what I would actually do is I would take my phone and I would film the shirt going right there, and I would stop, right? And then I would take my print. I would lay my print on top of it, I would throw it. I'm filming right now, I would throw it. I would stop. And then after that, I stop, right? And then I would make it perfect and I would heat press it. And then once the press is opening up, I would film it again once the press is opening up. And then I would take it off and I would decide, am I gonna put it on or am I gonna lay it on the chair flat? And then I would do it again. So it's like 3 second, 4 or 5 second burst. And that is what, like he said, Instagram wants you to see the most of. And you can do that screen printing, throw it on the palette, get yourself filming it coming down, pull the squeegee. And again, all these are 3 second bursts. I'm taking you through the entire process.
So basically editing in the camera,
not a blank
right?
Yeah, because they'll watch it sequentially.
Other questions? Oh, look at all those experts out there. They know everything. That's cool. No, sure. Oh, good
Exactly
question.
what I just did.
So-
if you're
Good
shy,
question.
So the question, to repeat it, what's the shy person do?
The shy person can put in front of the camera their most vulnerable thing. Like if you're shy, use that to your advantage. Tell people, hey, I'm shy. That might be what takes you to the next level, because the way other people interpret your interactions with the platform might be the thing that they like, might be the thing that's unique about you, right? So people are all different. We all have different personalities, and show people that you're shy.
they can relate to that.
They can relate to that.
authenticity.
Right. It's being honest, right?
My bad. I'm about to cut you off, but so I would just say if you're shy, there's literally a ton of case studies of YouTube channels that have millions of subscribers where they don't show their face. Also, if you get on TikTok, you have tons of huge TikTokers where you have no idea what their face looks like. The good thing is if you own a shop, you never have to show your face. It can be all about the client and the product. Like I told you, if I opened up a shop today, part of every single one of my invoices, I would tell my clients, hey, but I have to film you opening the product when it's done. Or if you're doing shipping, hey, can you do me a favor? Part of the invoice, when you open it, can you record opening it? And I'm gonna put it on my social media, my TikTok, my Instagram. Your face doesn't have to be on it. And my example with TikTok is you do the voiceover. I mean, you can like literally not ever be on camera. So there's techniques you could do if you don't want to be like a talking head video, or if you can't do what Stan does, which is a one-man show, and he just presses go live, which is amazing. But yeah, there's different things you can do. Thank you for that
Let me
question.
add one thing to that. So what I just showed you guys, I didn't say I was in the camera, right? I'm just showing the product, right? And I think, we think about video and we think about like the famous actress or the news broadcaster who's in front of the camera. That little demonstration that I just did, it would have been all of the product, and I'm showing the process. So you don't necessarily have to step in front of the camera at all in order to do that. And those are some of my best performing reels when I'm heat pressing some super color, or back in the day when I'm screen printing and doing different things like that. So you don't have to be in front of the camera at all. If you're comfortable with your voice, then do that. But right now, they allow you to put songs over what you're doing. In fact, they want you to put the trending songs or the trending sounds of other people's voices onto what you're doing anyway. So, just consider that some of that stuff.
I also would say that you should not.
Sorry, if you guys don't mind, I'm live right now, and I figured I might as well give a demonstration of how powerful social media is, and put a little post up, right?
He just took what I'm gonna do at the end, but go ahead. Go ahead, Rick. My camera's ready too.
The other thing I would say is do not assume because you're shy in person that you won't like performing. It's a different part of your brain. I mean, I have a daughter that would be staring at the floor here if you try to talk to her probably, but she'll sing and play music for 1,000 people and doesn't care. It is a different thing, and don't assume. You might try it and you might really like it, And you can always record stuff and not put it up. So try it. Other questions, please?
That's it?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Let's give them a chance. Maybe they're shy. All right, here we go. Shy person has another question.
You're not shy.
Definitely not shy.
Second question.
Okay, so the question is, how do you film things and get engagement in your business, but without doing it in a gross way? Yeah, something like that. Okay.
You guys should definitely answer the question because I have no shame in my game in call to actions. At the end of the day, if you don't ask somebody to do something, they're not going to do it. So you should tell them to go to your website. You should tell them, hey, check out this or check this out. When you watch advertisements on TV,
You're saying be honest?
yes, right? Be honest with them. When you watch advertisements, the advertisements entice you and they tell you to go to the store or go here, we're going to be here. You should tell people to do what you want them to do because if you don't, why are they going to do it? You have to give people call to actions.
So, shameless, but I have clothingbrandacademy.com. For me, every product that I built on there, there's courses, but I would say if you look at my analytics, the biggest things that move on there are tech packs. So I sell tech packs from Vector tech packs, and then I stepped up and developed like Canva version of the tech packs, so you could be very exact about your artwork placement for your garments or whatever. But for me, every single product that I developed on that site was all like problem solving. Like people were like, we need this. So in my videos, I'm like, hey, if you want to learn more, I have a solution for this. If you want more, check out clothing. Almost every single one of my videos in the last 2 years has it. So I guess sometimes I'm subtle, but I'm kind of like buy it or don't buy it, but people are buying it, so.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is what I wanted to say is pretty much provide value, right? Like, so I don't know what it is that you sell, but, you know, I don't necessarily ask people to go click a link. It's just like, hey, if you find what I'm doing useful, support, right? So for you guys out here printing shirts, it's like, hey, man, if you have a family reunion coming up, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. You got a youth football team that you want some shirts for, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. And, you know, that's a call to action, but that's just letting them know if you have this problem or you have this thing coming up, here's how I can help you. I'm providing you value of a sort. I think it's a little bit different when it comes to us because, you know, we're providing educational value. We're not necessarily, we're selling you the educational piece of it or asking you to do something because we're providing you a different kind of value. But if you have a product that you want to sell, show them what the value is in it. You know, hey, you know, I don't know, you could be selling, you know, acne cream or something like that, man. Listen, look at my old picture. You know, look at me when I was 18 and I had braces and my face looks ugly, but, you know, my cream makes you look good and you call it a day at the end of the day, you know. All of this stuff is translatable no matter what the product is that you do. If you can provide value, if you can solve people's problems, if you can make life easier for you, you know, hey, you had a problem with the last print shop. I know you guys did because, you know, you asked for a quote and they never get it back to you, or you hounded them and you didn't know when you were going to get your stuff back. Listen, my process is seamless. You can go on my website. You're going to see exactly when it goes in production. You're going to see exactly when it ships. If you can provide those things, show the value and what makes you different, and that'll be the thing that allow you to ask without even asking.
All right, so I think we're going to close up here. You guys all going to hang around a few minutes if people want to talk. Any shy people want to talk to you? All right, so I want to thank Alan Wade, Stan Banks,
Before we go,
and John Finau.
we have an influencer happy hour.
You can say whatever you
All
want.
right. So we got an influencer happy hour tonight at Bobo. It's real close to here. It's on all of our Instagrams if you guys follow us. It's sponsored by Bella Canvas. There is a capacity limit, so at any point when it fills up, it's just full. And then the last thing that I want to say is I've done shop talks for like the last 2 years now, since 2020, I think it was, or no. It might have been since 2020, I don't know. But, you know, this was one of the biggest crowds and the most interactive crowds that we have. So Alan tried to steal my shine, but you know, I want to thank Rick.
Didn't do it on purpose.
I want to thank Rick for building this platform and allowing us to come here and speak. You know, we got some new blood on the scene of what it is, and it's super engaging. So I want all of you guys to do me a favor, and I'm going to do an Instagram post. And I need everybody to yell in kitchen. We need to let everybody on the other side who's not over here know that they should have been over here because we provide some great information. And thanks to In Kitchen, it's all free for you guys. So if you guys will help me do that, I'm going to start my story. All right, guys, I got my friends with me. I'm here with Alan Wade, my man John Phenom, and Rick from In Kitchen, man. We got a beautiful crowd here today, and on the count of 3, we all gonna yell In Kitchen. 1, 2, 3. In Kitchen! That's how it is, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you all. Thanks for coming.